These tests now run in about 11 minutes. There's about 300 of them. And the flake score is like under 1%. We rarely get a false negative failure in QA Wolf. Like, it is extremely rare that this happens, which is great. And this has allowed us to do 4 deployments per day out of these main repos. I'm Ilya Kirichanis, and I'm a product platform engineer here at Metronome. We are usage-based billing as a service. Billing is very complicated. Usage-based billing is even more complicated. So we have to take inputs from our clients. They send us events to meter, and then we apply business rules that are very complicated. And so working with QA Wolf, you're just like, hey, not only are we going to do these very simple ones, we're going to do really complicated stuff that's actually going to test not just our front end. Like, QA Wolf is actually testing our full back end, from database to event ingestion, which is a whole other system. As more engineers come in, as the product gets more complex, we started seeing some regressions. Not necessarily the best thing to happen, but we were seeing regressions happening. Every incident is probably, I would say, just like a day of time, honestly. And that might be a day for multiple engineers, actually. My viewpoint is unit tests are great, but everything breaks when you integrate it together. So you got to have something that actually tests what your customers are testing or seeing. So we thought, how are we going to do this? We can use Playwright, and it's open source. You can easily pull it in, but then we'd have to maintain all these tests. Creating end-to-end tests that are not flaky is a very, very tough thing to do. It requires a lot of changes to your product and things like that. And you can do it. You can update your UI to have testable tags and things like that, but it is work. Our main thing isn't UI testing. Our main thing is delivering value through, improving our product. I took a look at QA Wolf and was like, yeah, this actually sounds great. It's like Playwright on steroids. The QA Wolf debugging experience in UI is amazing. We have these really, non-flaky tests that run, and they run every time a PR goes. And QA Wolf says, hey, this is blocked or it's not. So it's pretty simple. We block on those tests. So if they fail, we have to fix it. Since instituting, we call it the release train. Since instituting this with the full deployment, we actually had 190 deployments, and 15 we had regressions that were caught by QA Wolf before going out. The math worked out like really easy as well. Like, when you think about how many engineers you would need to make sure you have a good QA system and not flaky, and versus like someone else doing it, you're going to pay probably 3 to 4 people to do this. It doesn't seem that hard to write a test. You write your test, you click around, you copy paste from another test, and you make your changes, and you call it good. The cognitive overhead and load of having to maintain this over time is the real cost burden that we see. And with QA Wolf, you don't think about it. Having a company whose focus is to improve testing and ensure they understand your company and how to write these tests really just took that burden off of us. So we can just go and say, hey, QA Wolf, here's a loom of this feature, can you test it? We are deploying multiple times a day. We don't even think about it. We just add more tests, and we have more tests than we've ever had. The flakiness is like the lowest it's ever been. The speed of these tests are, again, 11 minutes for all these tests to run. And we could go faster. We are 100%, bought into QA Wolf to the point where it's part of our definition of done process. And, the value we get is just great.